Welcome to the Richness of Life podcast with your host, Janet Anderson. Join us as we walk on the path of self-discovery, remembering the richness of life. Together we will explore the depths of the human experience, hear expert insights, have conversations, experience transformative stories, and learn everyday wisdom. Tune in and discover the richness that awaits you in each moment. Hey, it's Janet Anderson. Welcome to episode 8. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how quickly these episodes are getting recorded. I'm loving the continued feedback, especially when people message me and they're like, hey, Janet, I listened to the Cloud Princess episode and it really struck me, that visual of joy. Hey, Janet, it was really helpful to understand how to use anger in a healthy way. I absolutely love getting these messages. Never hesitate to reach out to me and let me know how things are going, what is helpful for you, and how the Richness of Life podcast has impacted your life or the people around you. I also super appreciate hearing, hey, Janet, I totally sent your podcast to my friend. Because the more people know about the function of emotions and different golden nuggets that I'll be sharing along the way, the better everyone's going to feel. When we feel better, we do better. I'm super excited because we get to continue to talk about the function of emotions. In a quick review, I definitely suggest going back to the beginning to hear in the earlier podcast. The function of emotion, the first emotion we start with is anger. The function of that is it sounds the alarm when we perceive that a boundary is being violated. It rises up, it sounds the alarm, it gives us assertive energy to reestablish the boundary that we perceive that is being violated. The function of sadness is it helps us let go of things throughout our life. The function of grief is it helps us let go of major life events. The function of fear, that's our instinct, our Batman instinct that tells us what to do to stay safe. And then we also talked about the function of anxiety. It always follows fear because the function of anxiety is it's a processing emotion. It helps us process and integrate. Last episode, I talked about how anxiety and the function of processing helps and always comes after a fear or instinct response. The second function or example that I like to give of anxiety, the function is still processing, but it kind of goes more like this. If you needed to borrow my car, and let's say I had a brand new car and you weren't worried about wrecking it or anything, so we'll take that off the table. I say, hey, you need to borrow my car. Well, I want to let you know I just got it checked out. Everything is squeaky clean. The brakes are great. The interior's wonderful. The headlights work. The speedometer works. You're going to have no issue with my car, with my vehicle not functioning properly. I hand you over the keys. How anxious would you be? How worried would you be about my car working for you? If we take off that you're worried about maybe wrecking my car, most of you would answer 0. I have total faith that your vehicle is going to do what it needs to do. Now I'm going to flip the scenario. You need to borrow my car. I say, oh gosh, yeah, you need to borrow my car, but I need to let you know a few things. The speedometer is broken, so just kind of go with the flow of traffic. Also, the gas gauge is busted, but I just keep record of it on a sheet of paper. So, I filled up a couple days ago and there's probably enough to get you to where you need to be. Oh, and if it rains, then you're going to have to pull over because the windshield wipers don't work. There's just one headlight that's working. And don't worry about that squeaky noise when you hit the brakes. I'm going to take it in next week. I think they said it was because there was metal on metal, but it's fine. So my question to you is, if I hand you over the car keys, how confident are you that that car is going to be functioning well and get you safely from where you need to be? You're going to be like, no way am I driving that vehicle. Because there are things that aren't functioning properly in the vehicle. So sometimes we have anxiety sounding the alarm that we aren't using our emotional vehicle the way that it needs to be used. We're not using the functions of emotions appropriately and effectively. We have anxiety sounding the alarm to be like, whoa, I'm anxious about driving this vehicle of your body. We got to go in and get a checkup. We have to get some maintenance done. And that's why we worry. That's why the what ifs are there. Or at least one component. Anxiety is a tricky emotion. Healthy use of anxiousness, the function is it sounds the alarm when there's a fear response, and it's following that to help you process it, or it's sounding the alarm that you're not using the function of your other emotions appropriately, and therefore your emotional vehicle is not safe to drive. And then you have to process, why aren't my emotions working properly? Do I have trauma? Do I just not know? But if you're listening to this podcast, now you know how to use all of your emotions that we've talked about thus far. Last episode, I talked about just the process of healing, where we have these beginning emotions that would be anger and sadness and grief, and happiness is in there too. Happiness comes from the happenings that occur around you, and it's fleeting. Most of us are seeking happiness. We're striving for that next dopamine hit to get that happy button. But in reality, it's not happiness we're looking for. The function of happiness is it sounds the bell for us to celebrate and feel good for approximately like 20 minutes, and then it goes away. But what we truly seek is joy, because joy is more of a state of being. When someone's joyful, it radiates from them. It oozes into every aspect of their being when someone has access to joy. And joy is on the other side of the hallway, the other side of that shadow. It's on the other side of the scary basement. Walking through that scary basement, you're going to look at things like those core wounds: shame, abandonment, loneliness, insignificance, feeling unlovable, inadequate, unworthy. All of those wounds that have created these beliefs that aren't true about ourselves. When I was thinking about recording this podcast specifically, and I was thinking about helping you guys get prepared for the hallway, the facade of fear, I was reminded of pole vaulting. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. I am an all-American pole vaulter. I started pole vaulting my freshman year at St. Olaf College. When I was in high school and I was running track and field, I did the 400 and down, including the 100 hurdles and the 300 hurdles. Oh my gosh, I love doing the hurdles. But when I got to college, pole vault had just gotten on the scene for women at that time. And because I was a gymnast and I had some strength and coordination, they gathered all of the women with the male pole vaulter, and he taught us a few moves. He had us run with the pole, and then he selected a few that he thought would do well learning pole vault. So I was one of those few. My freshman year, I jumped, I think, 6 feet. Anyway, eventually I went to nationals, became an all-American pole vaulter, and after I graduated, I coached St. Olaf College for quite some time, 2001 to about 2013. I started coaching 4 years ago at De La Salle High School. I want to give a shout out to all my Islanders who are listening to my podcast, and especially my tracksters and my vaulters. You guys motivate me and inspire me every day. You might be like, why are we talking about pole vault and the facade of fear, the shadow of fear? Well, here is the correlation. I also spoke about this at the induction into the St. Olaf Athletic Hall of Fame. It's such a amazing correlation between what happens in the vault and what happens in real life over and over and over again. Some basics about pole vault. You run as fast as you can, gripping a stick, a pole that bends. You put the end of that pole into a hole in the ground called the box. Then you jump up on that pole, the pole bends, and it flings you over the bar. That's the basics of pole vaulting. In the middle of the vault, when the pole is bending, there is a skill that's called the hip lift. This really is what separates average vaulters from excellent vaulters. The hip lift. To create the visual, your hips have to be higher than your shoulders or your head. You're going upside down. Your head is pointing towards the ground while your feet are going up to the sky. You're flipping yourself upside down while you're going fast on a moving pole, only holding with your hands, and the potential that the pole could break at any time if that pole had been compromised. But with all that said, there's this moment where the pole is supposed to bend and it feels really soft and it's really flexible. In this moment where the pole is giving you no information back, that is the moment that you have to lift your hips and pull on that bending pole. So in essence, you're doing the opposite of what your body deems is safe. Because when you pull on the bending pole, it's like it's breaking and your head is going towards the metal box below on the ground. It takes a level of faith in this moment. And not all vaulters will ever be able to do it. Because you have to trust that if you don't do the hip lift at the right moment, when everything in your nervous system is saying, don't do that, if you miss that moment and you don't have faith and courage, you'll miss the ride. Meaning, in a millisecond, that pole's going to start unbending. If you haven't gotten yourself in position, you're just going to fling out straight forward. But if you can trust in the process and get yourself into position, that pole's going to unbend and it's going to lift and rocket your hips straight up into a handstand, high into the sky. You will be over every block, obstacle, or bar that you take. This is exactly what we need to do in the facade of fear. We have to have faith. We have to get ourselves in position so that we can walk through that shadow and get to the other side of life, where there's joy and there's success and there's abundance and there's wisdom and discernment and hard work along the way, perseverance and grit. All of these really beautiful emotions that we actually get to feel them in our body. Now I want you all to go Google and watch a pole vault and watch for that moment where the vaulter's head is going towards the ground, the pole is bending, their whole body gets shot up, and then watch the smile cross their face. Joy when they reach that bar and it's a clear make. For fun, you could watch a vaulter that isn't as skilled and then watch where they miss the ride. And they only go as high as their hips were able to go. For all my vaulter friends, I know that you know exactly what I'm talking about. For my non-vaulter friends listening, I hope I created a visual that will last for you for a while. You're going to need some courage. Everything in your body's going to scream, don't go into that hallway. But have faith. Just like when the pole's going to unbend, it will shoot you higher than you can ever imagine. This whole life that we have is a healing journey. It never ends. It's always evolving. I really think about it as a process of coming home. It's a process of remembering who we are. There's a specific song that I love. When I read the lyrics, it really reminds me of this healing journey, especially when we meet people who just feel like home. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm just so comfortable around them. I can just be myself around them. And they remind you of what home feels like inside you. Our ultimate healing goal is that we can feel home within us, not because of outside happenings, but because we have gone through the facade of fear. I'm going to sing a cappella the Feels Like Home song to me. I hope that you really think about what it would feel like, what it will feel like for you to embark on this journey and to feel home. And remember, love, that's a GPS system that's guiding you right back home. Something in your eyes makes me want to lose myself. Makes me want to lose myself in your arms. There's something in your voice makes my heart beat fast. Hope this feeling lasts the rest of my life. If you knew how lonely my life has been, and how low I've felt for so long. If you knew how I wanted someone to come along and change my life the way you've done. Feels like home to me. Feels like home to me. Feels like I'm all the way back where I come from. Feels like home to me. Feels like home to me. Feels like I'm all the way back where I belong. A window breaks down a long dark street, and a siren wails in the night. But I'm alright, 'cause I have you here with me, and I can almost see Through the dark there's light. If you knew how much this moment means to me, and how long I've waited for your touch, feels like home to me, feels like home to me, feels like I'm all the way back where I come from. Feels like home to me, feels like home to me, feels like I'm all the way back where I belong. Feels like I'm all the way back where I belong. I wish you many blessings as you continue on your journey. I pray protection over you and your family. I pray that the richness of life be ever present in all of your being. Until next time, many blessings, everybody.